we might just be live right now. It might have just happened. Can't handle it anymore. You know, what was that that guitar commercial? Sorry. Hi everyone. If you can see and hear me. The guitar commercials everyone used to laugh and make fun of. I always wanted to learn to play guitar, but at the beginning it just seemed so... Like, these Guitar Tricks commercials are even worse. I literally, like, cringe when I see them, because they play them so much now. That, and they're always, like, bashing on YouTube videos. Sorry, I'm starting out complaining. What's up, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Turn my guitar up some. This is so live, Amanda. It has never been more live than this right here. Cheers, hello, Braxel. Ben's in the house. Happy Saturday, everyone. Well, thank you very much, Gary. How am I getting that 80s tone? Well, it all starts in your heart. No, I'm using my Axe FX. Best thing ever. Well, thank you. Zach. Hey, Zach. What's up, man? Am I going to open the Friedman amp? What if I told you it is opened? It is out. I was playing with it. It's the box is just taped shut for the video. Craig, any experience with the butter slacks? Considering one for metal high gain. I've never played a butter slacks. I played the BE100 Deluxe. I think is what I was playing through. Or maybe that was Tim playing through that. I can't remember. I played through that, I believe, at NAMM, which I have the 50 Deluxe because like I've stated many times, 50 watt, 40, 50 watts is like for me the sweet spot when it comes to amps. So the Friedman box behind me is the Friedman JJ Jr. So they had asked me about demoing that, and I was like, shoot, yeah. Yeah, that amp sounds insane. It is a phenomenal 20 watt amp. It's crazy how good it sounds. Yeah, sorry for the super random, no heads up live stream. I just came up here, you know, was doing stuff with the family and everything, and then got back home, and I was like, I'm gonna go practice guitar, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go live. Yeah, that's an empty box now. The amp is actually sitting right there, but it's all hooked up, just not to the 2 notes right now. But is it 6v6 bass? I don't actually know. I haven't like looked into it yet. I've just been playing it, working on writing the song for the demo, and it is crazy good. I'd play it for you guys, but I shouldn't say I'm not allowed to. I probably could play it if it was hooked up to the 2 notes and stuff right now, but it's you know, they have a strict release date that they want stuff to stick to, and I also don't want to be stepping on anyone's toes, you know, people who are releasing their videos before me. Has EL34s in it. I figured it would, but I wasn't real sure. But yeah, the JJ Jr. sounds phenomenal. Ron, the blue Acacia is actually at Acacia. So what happened is I sent that back to them to get fishpin pickups put in it. The battery pack that I got for it ended up not fitting in the guitar like we thought it would, so I needed to get a back plate. Fishpin was out of those, when I needed it. And also when I shipped it out there, they were asking me like, "Did you have a huge like dent in your neck?" Because when they took it out of the case, something happened in shipping and it like messed up the neck. So they actually have to cut a completely new neck for it, which is okay because I asked them to make it a little bit bigger, which it already had a big, huge neck on it. I was like, "Can you make it a little bit bigger?" No worries, Brack. So I do have, I can show you guys. You'll be seeing a video about it soon. I have it literally just got here, I don't know, 30 minutes ago or something. A new guitar. It's not mine. I'm not keeping it. But it is an Acacia. And it was one they had at NAMM. And I had basically asked them, you know, if you guys ever have an extra one, I'd love to. I have tried the Aristides. It is very, very good. But this Acacia, I was like, you know, if you ever have one, it's tough when you're dealing with like custom shops because they're not just like Acacia size and stuff like that. They're not just making guitars; they're making, you know, they're basically as ordered. So if you guys want to see the new guitar that's here right now, again, not mine, just borrowing it because they actually had one made from. They did a show in Texas. Hey, Eric, what is up, buddy? How are you, man? If I can see if you can... No, I have an Aristides here right now, man. Yep, I have one. A really good friend of mine does like the marketing for Aristides. I believe that's what he does. Joycing all the guitars. Opinion on hair rock bands, dude. I love hair rock bands. I've been geeking out to a lot of like Europe lately and all that stuff. So I know the Sir PT15 is 66. Yeah, I was talking to Pete about letting me check one of those out. So we'll just have to see. You know, just ordered that Vintage T Classic P90 in Burgundy Heavy Relic, dude. That's gonna be sick. They're actually sending me a classic tee, and I asked them to send me another vintage tee with humbuckers. I want to do a comparison video between the three. So they're going to be sending me 2 of those, as well as they're still trying to send me a NoHo. The issue is so many people were like purchasing the NoHos and stuff like that. They just don't have any to send out. So, dude, Ron, you are going to absolutely love it. It's a little bit of a wait. I know I've still got about 2 months left to wait on my Vintage S. But again, I told him I was like heavy relic. I was like, do your thing to it. You know, I'm telling you, the relic. It just makes the guitar feel broken in. To be honest, is all that it ever does. And some people might say it affects the tone and stuff like that. I don't know that for sure. I've never like done a compare and contrast kind of thing, but dude, you will absolutely love it. Cheddar Kung Pao, your name always makes me laugh. He can comment on the you have a Vintage S. Do you have a Cali? Vintage S. You have a Vintage S. Try to get behind the truck. Foxy! Yeah, see, and I had 2 Vintage S's here, but they weren't mine. I was just borrowing them, and they sold while they were here. And basically, I had to send it back. But the humbucker that was in the you can watch my Vintage S demo. The one that was HSS, it's a passive it's like the best passive humbucker I think I've ever heard. There was such a good tone out of that thing. So and the reason why I went ahead and I wanted to get the Vintage S is just because I feel like those guitars are going to continue to get more popular, and they're already really catching on. And I'd say within another year or two, your wait time on a custom build from Friedman's probably going to be, it's going to be like Anderson and Sir and stuff like that, you know, 6, 7, 8 months, I imagine. That's just my, you know, projection on those. But that was why I was just like, you know what, I want to get it now while the wait time's 2 to 3 months, and you know, kind of get in before the going gets gone. RJ concurred that the Arcane pickups are so good. Dude, the Arcane pickups are fantastic. I have them in my Vola. Right over there. I think these pickups sound good. I had heard some kind of mixed things about the 81... Cheddar, you might know what... Is it 8155? Is that 8185? I can't remember. You know, it's... I think these sound great. Did you buy it from Robert Sweetwater? Did I buy what from Sweetwater? I buy most of my stuff from Sweetwater. 8115s, that's what it is. So that's one of the things I was hoping, but it you know, it hasn't happened, and who knows if it ever would. But since I'm doing stuff with Sweetwater now, I was like, hey, maybe I'll end up getting the Sweetwater like employee discount, but I'm not an employee, so I don't think they'll give it to me. But I would be mighty happy if they would. Actual, no, I got it directly from Friedman, which I don't think they can do anymore because they have so many dealers now. So I think they want people to purchase them from dealers. Now, like I said, I don't think you can order directly from them anymore, unfortunately. Oh, that was your. Oh, that's right. You know what? I remember watching your Vintage S demo, Cheddar. Yes, it was for your birthday. Remember. I'm trying to remember. I remember watching your video when I was scouring the internet. I was just messaging Chris, the Guitar Pit. I was like, "Hey, did you ever do a video on your Vintage S?" I was like looking through different videos the other day. Hey, Robert, what kind of gear do you take with you when you do clinics and master classes? I honestly take basically nothing with me. Recently, I take a delay pedal. And that's honestly it. You know, I usually don't even take a guitar. I just use, you know, if I'm doing a clinic for Vola or something like that, I use whatever guitar they have there. But that's why I ended up getting this guitar. Actually, here, hold on. I'm going to put that there for a second. Because I'm going to keep playing that one. But that is why I shifted and got this one, because I wanted to actually start taking a guitar with me, because I just feel like I play a lot better on a guitar that I, you know. Not that I don't know the Vola guitars, but it's always different. So I wanted to have this one, and it's already Relic, so I can just take it with me. Amanda, Robert watched your live stream yesterday, and you were playing guitar. My dad came in and asked if that was me playing. Hey, RNA Music in the house. Speaking of Vola, RNA Music is a Vola dealer. Not sure what ones they have in stock, but they do have some. Yeah, so this one is like a pointy Strat. You know, I have the Vintage S on the way, but it's very differently configured than this one. I'm not going to go too far into the specs on the Vintage S. I'll save that for the video, but this one's very different. You out here, Alex? Have a good day, man. I'm all like blued out now. Got my Dunder Mifflin shirt on. Who here's an Office fan? I'm missing some frets. Dragon Force, I'm sorry, I don't know many pedals for bass, I'm afraid. What blue is that? I don't know, to be honest. Is that one of my 2 shirts? Yes. Creed is the best. We love Creed. It looks like Cookie Monster. It does have that Cookie Monster look to it. You can see the back's kind of relicked up. Fact. You can pick very fast. I call it. Yeah, this is like when I think of blue, I guess it's like almost the same color as my shirt, a little bit darker. I never learned Little Wing, you know. I'm afraid. So this is the one that'll be my like official clinic guitar now. From henceforth. Sorry, I know some people hate when guitars get laid down on the ground, but if the headstocks aren't all angled, it's not gonna hurt them. You play Strawbells versus the World. I wish I still know that song. I don't know that one anymore. That's a long time ago though. Best R&B music, best alternate picking exercise. You like go. You know, I don't know if it's the best one, but I'll tell you a new one I'm working on. So I was looking at anybody who likes Europe. Can't remember how he does that lick, but Key Marcello. I mean, we were talking about him last night, and I was like watching this video, and I realized something really, really cool that he does in his faster descending runs. So instead of doing something like this, like if you were doing like a C major scale, and just kind of doing each one twice. Oh, sorry. I can't do it. Instead of doing like something like that, he goes like this. He goes. That one little part in there, he changes. So he goes. I can't even do it. But it's really fast. Let me switch guitars one more time, sorry. I've been playing the vintage T like constantly, and the smaller neck I think is messing with me a little bit. I just like the smoothness of the PRS. It has such like a silky kind of sound to it. But here we go. So yeah, so when he's doing that, like that, he goes. It's just that one little section in there, and what I figured out what I had to do, because I was like, why is my hand? I couldn't do it, and the fan's blowing my hair. I have to go like this. If you watch my picking hand, it's almost all alternate except for the one part. So it goes. Oh, sorry. Down, down. Now one section. One little economy moment in there. And then what he does, I think, is really cool. So he'll do that, and then he turns it around mid-run and us-in. So it's like a really good picking exercise. And he'll do, he does it, you know, flawlessly. I can't do it now. Ah. So his solos are so good. My hands aren't warmed up for that yet. Shredmaster. Key Marcello's is a Shredmaster. What's your opinion about Scott? Oh, I'm afraid I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. I'll have to check him out, though. How much money do you have to spend, and do you need more than 2 input? Scarlett is great. Better is UA Apollo. I'm not totally sure I understand your question, I'm afraid, but it depends on the Scarlett. I'll be honest. So I have the 18i20, which has like 18 inputs or 20, whatever it is, and I use 2 of them. The only reason I got it was because my desk is designed for rack mount gear, and that one was rack mount. Is honestly why I got it. I would really love to transition to UA, if I'm being honest, but the issue is my computer right now is not strong enough. It's not powerful enough to run UA. So maybe something down the road that I'll switch over to. But for now, my computer's just not good enough, to be honest. My computer's pretty old. This year I will be upgrading it. It's a 2012. Yeah, 2012. I've been waiting because basically then I need to get converters because all my stuff is USB, and I believe the new iMacs do not have USB. It's like Thunderbolt, or maybe it's like USB 3.0 or something like that. I can't remember what they have, but I have to get adapters for all my stuff. iMac Pro. I'm jealous. Yeah, so the iMac Pros are what I'm looking at. Another thing I've been working on is this really cool Phil X run. He goes like this. Where he kind of walks up. He does all those crazy chromatic things. RJ. My secrets, here's the secret, man. Pentatonic scale plus the blues. No, that's my only secret. The blues scale. Now, I will. I'll show you guys one of my super secret guitar licks. It works everywhere, all the time, anywhere, almost always. I call it faux outlining chords. So like basically, if I'm playing over something, and you know what the chords are, even if it's like something simple. You can, like I said, I call it fake outlining the chords. And I base it all off the pentatonic scale, but I just start on whatever the root of the chord is. And I do my pentatonic scale, so like if I was on the D. And what I do is I call it, I go good, bad, good, the whole way through the lick. So basically I play a note that's in key, play a note that's out, note that's in, note that's out, note that's in, note that's out. I'm sorry, note that's in, which they're not actually in and out, like that's just your major third or that's your major seven and stuff like that. But it's just to simplify it for myself, that's the way I look at it. And I just walk my way through the pentatonic boxes, that way it works everywhere. And as long as you know how to like resolve it, like if you're doing like your D, go to like your minor 7 or something like that, it always works. It's it's one of my favorite things. It's a chromatic, I don't know. Stealing that lick. It always sounds, to me, it always gets people's attention, and it's like out enough to be like, oh, he knows what he's doing. But in all reality, it's like no clue. No clue what I'm doing. I'm just playing a pentatonic scale. As long as you can resolve it, man, it's straight gravy. Oh man. My all-time favorite lick? Probably one of my all-time favorite ones. Let's see if I remember how to do it exactly. I can't remember. It's the lick that Angus does in Hell's Bells. How's it go? I can't think. I've got another lick popped in my head, and I was like, no, this is the one. Now all I can think of is the other lick. I can't remember it anymore. It's at the very end of Hell's Bells. Listen to that, and you'll hear the lick because it'll get your attention right away. I did a video on the lick actually. I can't get the other one out of my head. That one, and honestly, they're like cliche licks, but it's like the Stevie Ray Vaughan thing. Like, just like those simple licks are always so fun to play. And then, oh, you know what? I know my favorite lick to play. It's this one. Some kind of like bluesy thing. Very, Angus Young inspired. Kind of got that Warren D. Martini, like Mixolydian, or adding that major third to your pentatonic scale. Hey, Scott. That's all like straight Mixolydian, but sorry, you guys probably lost me there for a second. It should be back to working. do pinch harmonics. You know, I don't just the best way to learn how to do them is take your gain on your amp and just, you know, just dime it out. That's what I did, and it was actually at that moment I had when I learned how to do them, I had a crappy practice amp, so the distortion did not sound very good. But it was in that moment that my parents got me a set of headphones. I was just back there. I remember I was back. I remember it plain as day. Actually, it's funny things you remember. Sitting on the couch in our living room in our old house, and you know what's crazy? I remember what I was wearing. I had cargo shorts on, and I don't know why I remember all these details, but I just remember sitting there trying to. And my guitar teacher, Tim McMillan, told me, "Go home, turn your gain all the way on 10," and in practice, and he was trying to show me how to do a pinch harmonic because there's one in Panama, and I just remember amp super loud distortion. I'm like, and I was like, does it have to be so loud? And I was like, yeah, I need to get the distortion. And then he's like, maybe you can go practice up in your room. And I remember I took the amp upstairs into my room, and I'm just a dumb kid. I sat it on the floor, but there was a vent in my floor right down to the living room. And then I was practicing upstairs super loud. And I remember he's like, that amp have a headphone jack on it? And I was like, yeah, it does. And he's like, okay. And like, went and got me headphones. Here, practice as loud as you want. And just gave me a pair of headphones to plug in. It was so funny. But yeah. But that's how I learned how to do it, you know? And, you know, I just remember sitting there trying to find the sweet spot. That was what he told me. There's a sweet spot. Everyone kind of gets an area where they can do pinch harmonics. So for me, I think it depends on, like, the players you listen to. So, like, you know, obviously, I listen to a lot of Van Halen, Nuno Bettencourt. It's a huge part of Nuno's style. So, the other thing I've been working on a lot is recently, even though I don't use it too often, I've just felt the need to work on it because it's helping my hand synchronization more so than actually using sweep picking. I've just been working a lot of, you know, like random sweep picking things. I'm not going to be warmed up to do it right now, but just simple stuff like that. But it's been fun, you know. So it's how to hold my pick. I hold my pick like this, so I don't have much of the pick sticking out. Can you? There you go. But just got told to put headphones on. I noticed you don't play any Ibanez, no Jim. You know, I played an Ibanez for a long time. I had an RGA Prestige. And you know, I like them. I don't really care for the Ibanez necks anymore. Whatever the new like Sir looking kind, the AZs. I like those necks. It's more like a C style. Ron, what chords were those? So the first ones, I'm trying to remember what I did. The first one I did was just an A minor. Then I went to, nope. Then I went to a D minor. Then I did, what was the next one I did? I think I did G next. Then I did C major. Those are all right there. If you're asking about the other one that I did, that also started on A minor. Then I went to E major, back to A minor. Then I went to an E major and a higher octave. Then I went to D major. then C major, G major. Oh, then that went back to A minor, and I think back to D. Very, very basic. You know, not crazy chords or anything. My hands are starting to get a little bit more warmed up now, but that's a really good exercise because it gives your hands a lot of suspense. So you have to have control over when you're picking those notes because there's so much space between the notes. So stuff like that, or even doing things like outlining the same chord a bunch. So if you do like G major. I'm kind of out of frets, but our music. When am I getting the blue RBS back? Hopefully pretty soon. Acacia has to cut me a new neck. It got damaged in shipping, and I'm still waiting on the battery pack from Fishman. I don't know any classical music. You know, I'm not much of like a finger picker and stuff like that, I'm afraid. My wife knows that kind of stuff. Not me, though. Yeah, I was just playing the Vola. Ugh, Vola's right here. Ba-bam. Unless you mean the purple one, which I broke a string on it. I was actually getting ready to use it in a video, and I broke a string on it. Sounds like a song, but I can't think what that is. Oh, you know what? That sounds like a Big Wreck song. Now, really digging in now. I'm pretty sure that's a Thornley riff. Maybe Ben, I don't know if your Canadianness transfers over and is a fan of Big Wreck, but maybe you can tell me if that's a Big Wreck song. Ooh, really digging in now. Oh. Sad story about the guitar player. What happened to Ian? What happened to Ian? Now, I never saw the crack. I play it, like I said, I play it enough in my mind to justify keeping it, but Robert, your beard looks like a metal character from Brutal Legend. my crappy beard. I don't know what this is, but this might end up being something. Nope. I can't remember it, but it has a cool sound. However, is JoJo rocking? I get that comment all the time. I don't, Ross. I have never learned the cage system ever. I'm actually gonna do it. I'm gonna do a video like learning it and stuff like that. But I've been told that a lot of through people who know the cage system, friends and stuff like that, who we were just kind of talking, and he's like, "Oh, it's like caged." I'm like, "Oh, I've never learned. I don't even know what the cage system is. I mean, I know what it is. I know enough about it to understand the concept." But whenever we were just kind of like sharing different ideas about how we were viewing the fingerboard, the way that I see it in all these triad shapes for the chords, he was like, "Oh, well, it's not all cage that you're doing, but a lot of what you're doing is actually part of the cage system." So it's like, I think I know it, but I don't know that I know it. I just know. No, the other guy's Brian is terminally ill. Oh man. Well, thank you for the super chat, Tom. But yeah, I didn't know that. That's really sad to hear. But yeah. So the way that I view things on the fingerboard are very like scalier and then triad based is what I'm seeing. So like if I'm playing out of the key of G, I've done videos on this stuff. So when I see stuff, it probably does help. But, one of the best things I think I ever did was learning triad shapes. But I certainly see a lot more. So the cage system, how many letters is that? C-A-G-E. So 5. So they're saying there's 5 main shapes. But I definitely view a whole lot more than 5 different shapes on here. So if I see like a G, for example, I'm seeing all these shapes all over the place for a G chord, and like there's your D shape, and then so like to me those are all G chords. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. This one now you're kind of repeating, but 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So to me, there's 12 different spots on the neck that I'm seeing G chords, right? Just off the top of my head. They may not all be different shapes. The shapes are repeating in some situations, but I'm seeing them in 12 different spots. So, let me chat. Oh, Plastidon, thank you so much for the super chat. Robert, I bought your courses. I was finding that I'm struggling at the moment making songs with learning the scales. Just sounds like I'm noodling. Oh, well, first of all, thank you so much for getting my courses, man. I really appreciate that. With scales, so like that's kind of like what the fretboard decoder is it's kind of like laying the groundwork for everything that the courses cover. So if you're having an issue with scales, make sure, for one, maybe even try to limit yourself. You usually try to, yeah, that's what I was saying, Ross, is I'm seeing triads everywhere. But anyways, I'm sorry. So the scale, Plastidon, is maybe sometimes try limiting yourself. I find sometimes when people are noodling around too much, it's because as guitar players, it's very natural for us to want to use all of the notes that are available to us in the scale. So if we have like a G major scale, maybe. But now, whether you do it the 3-note per string way, or maybe you do it the more boxy traditional way, either way is fine. Try limiting yourself with those. So if you're trying to do like a more riffy kind of thing, maybe stick to the lower one. So limit yourself. I do it the 3-note per string way, but right there, limit yourself to those 6 notes. The first step is get used to not playing them in order. Part of, to me, being able to improvise and stuff is being able to play your scale in a lot of different directions and a lot of different ways. That way, you're not focused so much mechanically. You can focus more on the notes that you're actually playing and how you're playing them and stuff like that. So take that, for example, and take those notes and be like, all right, I'm going to make a riff. I'm going to go, and if you have to, literally just pick notes. Be like, I'm going to go to this note, this note, this note, and then this note. So maybe that's my riff. And the big thing is you notice how much space. I'm leaving a lot of air You know, to me, rhythm and groove is all about the notes that you're not playing. Is what gives it the rhythm and groove. So if I just sit there and go like that, there's not much happening. But even if I go... See, that space is what gave that and how I quickly... I forget what the technical term for it is whenever you're speeding up. Amando, whatever it's called. But that is giving the scale a much more musical characteristic. And the reason why I'm able to do that is just because I've sat there and practiced it like this. And then I did it like this. And I did it like this. And I did it like this. And I did it like this. Any way you can think of, it helps to do that. And like I said, it's all about space and time and feel, and sometimes limiting yourself is really the key. Yep, see, Tom got it. Leave space, let the guitar breathe. Exactly. That's a huge, huge thing. Tom is asking me, Robert, do you agree that knowing the whole neck scale and triads helps a lot? My world opened up in A the moment when I learned the whole neck. Yes, 100%. So the way, you know, I don't offer private lessons anymore, but one of the things I'm going to probably start doing is basically, like, I hate to call it this, but like a masterclass style. I'm not going to call it masterclasses because I'm certainly not the master of anything. But is, for example, is practicing breaking out of your scale and going into triad shape. So like, here's your scale. So I see the scale, but I'm also seeing different triad shapes. There's G, there's G, there's G. There, so try rolling through that. So go. Boom, right there. I just played all the same notes, but I'm incorporating my triad. See? Again, there's another G chord right there. Oh, I'm sorry. Biggest thing is to avoid playing in lines unless that's what you want to do. So if you're looking for that sound, like again, like I was doing the Key Marcello thing, that Key Marcello sound, maybe the moment calls for that, and that's what you want. But when you're trying to be, to me, very musical, you know, it's. So like inside of that, see, that was like more melodic, more musical, all that kind of stuff. But I was using those triads. I was purposely staying around the G for that one. But if you notice, when I was walking around, I went. Right there, G triad. And that's straight G triad. And you can use the kind of like more scalar kind of things to do it and liven it up. But even when I did that, you know, I avoided playing in a line to make it more musical. So instead of going like this, I went, and you have a larger interval there between your notes. You know, so if I'm doing that, I'm skipping my fourth and I'm going to my fifth. So basically it's like a third apart. So to me it's like little things like that that can make an interesting solo and just give it a little bit more dynamics. So sorry. Super boring stuff. Warm paint going on at the new look pickguard catches my attention. Nice guitar though. Nice. Well, actually, the pickguard's actually also you can't see it too well, but it's actually scratched up and it is relicked. I think it's just harder to see on camera. How do you approach a Bonamassa style lick? Well, it depends what lick. If you're talking like his Eric Johnson style ones. I don't know if he alternate picks it or not, but like those Eric Johnson kind of runs that he does. I'm approaching that very like Eric Johnson-y. So like when you're doing those fives, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down, up, down, up, down, and you keep that. So basically as you start cycling it, you have 2 downs in a row the whole time. And the secret to moving a lick like that is on the 5th note. That's when you have to transition. So if I go like this, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where you have to move. The 5 is the key. Then diminished arpeggios. How Bonamassa was that? 1 thumbs down. Minor or major is my only game. Honestly, though I use other modes, I just know what. Oh, I just know what I'm doing. I just play each turn. Well, yeah. So, and you're right, Ron. So what's really cool, and what was like a really big light bulb moment for me, is the like modes and scales are all exactly the same. So if you know one position of your major scale, if you just know this, or A, whatever key, you actually know all 7 modes right there. So you actually have all 7 of them happening for you. It does, Deer Creek Audio. For older gentlemen, for myself, I need a belly cut on my guitars. It does, and that's one of the things I love about it. Is it's traditional, but they have certainly added certain modern accoutrements to it to solve all of your trepidations about it. Busting out some $5 words on you guys. But do you use them? The modes? Yes. You know, I mean, I can't say that I like. Out of sheer personal preference, I use all the mode shapes all the time, but I don't do a lot of like Phrygian stuff. I have a few songs where I forget what the riff was. But basically, what I did is like I modulated the beat. And when I did that, I shifted and I did Phrygian. And whenever I did that, like I said, I went basically all Phrygian. And then whenever the riff comes back around to D, then I just go back to like normal A minor. But yeah, you know, it just depends on like what the song is doing exactly, or stuff like that. Like some songs are gonna have more of that. Like some of them just have like a Lydian vibe to them or something. I was RJ. I can't take credit. I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, you know, like if it just has that Lydian sound to it. Oh, wrong chord. Sorry. About this flat 7 or 5s. Well, it depends on Lydian. It's going to be your raised 4th, so that's going to give you your Lydian. So I mean, it's technically it's going to have your major 7 and then your raised 4th in there and stuff like that. And don't even get started on the harmonic minor or. I've never really done harmonic minor. I always did like Hungarian minor, and I don't honestly know probably the correct way to use it. I just was always like, it sounds dark, sweet, you know. That was kind of it. I just know the only difference between harmonic and Hungarian minor is it also has a raised 4th. You can actually find on my channel, like one of my oldest videos is, it's like these 3 different Hungarian minor picking licks. See if I remember them. The one was... Perfect, like very yeah, it's very spicy. Or what was it? We'll end with this. The way I always remembered, I always like to get kind of like more bang for the buck out of learning a scale. So I always needed to like relate. I'm like, well, what else is this scale if I'm playing it in the same spot? So like if you play like A harmonic minor. If you play it right, on the way unlike the way I play it, you know, over an E, you are actually playing Phrygian dominant. So I think someone was asking about Phrygian, or maybe I was talking about Phrygian before, but it's really interesting how so many of the things you learn one, and it's actually like 10 other things. The background, what it's being played over, dictates everything about it. So it's really, to me, that side of theory was always super interesting. And actually, nothing piqued my interest about that stuff. And King Skinner says he found the best PF pickup copies. Who's pickups? Oh, nice. The person who piqued my interest about understanding that is actually an old Reb Beach VHS that I have called Cutting Loose. He does a song called Black Magic in there. can't remember how that song goes. But anyways, he was talking about how basically if he played, and I believe he was doing it out of A. He just like, you know, if I wanted to play A major, he's like, you know, I'm down here. He's like, but over an F sharp, that's F sharp minor. But he's like, but over an E, it's Mixolydian. So I was like, I don't understand. What is he talking about? And then as I kind of like learned more, it made a lot more sense. And I was just like, oh, well, that's sweet. You know, I was like, you know, I know way more than what I thought I knew. But yeah, so that was it. Diminished half up root of chord. I'm not sure what that is. Diminished half step up for root of chord. That might have been. I can't play fusion, unfortunately. I just play rock. You do love it. Well, thank you, Roger. But that's going to be it, guys. Like I said, I was just wanting to practice, and I thought, you know what? I'll pop in here. Sorry, I know this was probably a much more noodly live stream, but I made a mental note to myself. I was like, I can talk, but I got to keep playing. So there wasn't much riffing or anything in this live stream. It was practice. So other than that, I'm bouncing out of here, guys, and figured I'd hop on here for an hour and get some practice in. Amp-Pedal Axe Effects is what I'm using right now. Greetings from Sprint. Oh, well, thank you, Amanda. Spain, thank you, guys. Thank you all, everyone, so much for tuning in. I might have a new video tomorrow. I'm not sure. But I know my buddy Steve from Boston is going live tonight, so I'll probably be hanging out over there if you guys aren't on there. Ben, are you going live tonight? Ben just had your birthday was, what, 2 days ago? Wish Ben a happy birthday, everyone. But yes, thank you guys all so much for being awesome. I really appreciate it. I was just waiting to see if Ben said he was going live or not. Yeah, I think it was your birthday 2 days ago. Maybe it was 3 days. I can't remember. Maybe it was yesterday. Tomorrow night's your live stream. Okay. Birthday on Wednesday. Nice. Well, happy birthday. I don't know if it was last Wednesday, this Wednesday, but happy birthday regardless. Your birthday's in the vicinity of the past 2 weeks. So, other than that, guys, I'm about to enter dominant 7 and diminished 7th roll. A minor. Oh, yeah. What was it? What is it? Is it? What's a minor 7 flat 5? That's a half diminished? It's like the super common rocker chord when you want to feel cool. You're like, minor 7 flat 5. Oh, hold on. What would it be? So if I'm playing the A, I'm sorry, E. F sharp minor 7. G sharp minor 7. When I Go to the 9. Nope. Yep. Trying to remember. See? I can't think when I play. Like this kind of stuff. I'll leave that to the jazz and fusion guys. They can have that. I'm not good in that area. But other than that, guys, I will see you all later. Thank you all. Tom, yeah, I'm going to check that out. Half diminished. Yeah, I thought it was half diminished. If I would have thought about it before opening my mouth, I could have looked at it and seen that it was half diminished. But, yeah, that's it. Bye, guys. Have a good Saturday. Have a good Gibbs Sunday. I don't think I'll be live tomorrow, but maybe I will. It's a long weekend, so we'll see. But like I said, go check out my buddy Steve from Boston tonight. I know he's live. So later, everyone. Peace out. Maybe it's a peace out. Did it end? Nope, it didn't end. All right, later, guys.